Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Saad here at the park, got a quick run in. I try to run every day, seeing as how the gyms are closed. Check this out. Yesterday I was riding home and I was listening to the radio. I was flipping through the channels. I listen to talk radio when I drive, and I heard D.L. Hughley speaking, the comedian. And he quoted Malcolm X. Malcolm X said that when America gets a cold, Black America or blacks in America catch the flu. From that, we would understand that when there's a problem, when there's some type of fitna, when there's an issue, that black people tend to catch the brunt of whatever the problem is. We seem to or tend to catch it doubly hard, be it the judicial system, be it the educational system, healthcare, housing, whatever you want to name. We catch or get the short end of the stick. That has been our history here in America. That's just what it is. How much more so during the time of a pandemic? People, African Americans who live in urban areas, are being hammered by this virus. And the media is telling us over and over and over, social distancing, social distancing, social distancing. But you have people who live in these urban areas where social distancing really isn't feasible. It's hard when you live in small enclosed areas, when you live in buildings that are like coffins almost, bottom line, we can expect for people of color to catch this coronavirus the worst, or to catch the brunt of what it's bringing with it. And then we can also expect not to get adequate health care as well. So far we've talked about or mentioned judicial system, educational system, healthcare, housing, just about every aspect of the African American experience. We get the short end of the stick, and there's so many variables in play that speak to why that is the way that it is. And of course we understand, or we should understand, that it's by design. It's by design that we are considered, quote unquote, second class citizens in this country, always have been, more than likely always will be. The goalpost changes as we obtain or reach some level of success, or what we think is success. The goalpost changes. Now we're back to square one. We understand that this country, or what it was founded upon, and what it was founded upon, it is still upon today. Michelle Alexander mentioned in her book, The New Jim Crow, that, basically that things stay the same, but the tactics in order to carry out the maintaining or the maintenance of the status quo, that is what changes. We went from slavery to the black codes and black laws to Jim Crow to mass incarceration. We went from the N-word to the word felon now. So the word felon has replaced the N-word. Let me bring this back around to the Muslims. Allah tells us in the Quran, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. That Allah says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayat number 3, I believe, that in this day I have completed for you your religion and have granted you my favor, and have chosen for you Islam as your way, or Islam as your deen, your religion, your path. So we understand that in America, white supremacy is what it is. Always has been, more than likely always will be, to some degree. There will always be societal obstacles. There will always be structural, systemic, and institutional obstacles that are put in our place based on skin color. We know this. This just is what it is. But as Muslims, we have to understand that we have that which is perfect, and that which is perfect will overtake that which is imperfect. White supremacy, racism, all of these isms and man-made ideologies are subpar. They don't stack up to that which Allah has given to us as a way. So if we as Muslims implement that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to, then we will overcome as a collective these man-made isms and these man-made ideologies that we have to overcome. If we stick to the deen pure, stick to the Quran and the Sunnah as best we can, these man-made ideologies that are in our way will all of a sudden tend to fade away. We have ways around these ideologies, and our way around it, through it, above it, is Islam. And Islam is perfect. Muslims are not perfect, but Islam is perfect. So even as, African American Muslims, we have a double hit, being African American in America and being Muslim, But what we have that many African Americans who are not Muslim don't have is Islam. We have that. We have the tools. We have the tactics. We have the guidance. And most importantly, we have Allah. So if we are faithful to Him, if we purify our intentions, if we keep our niyyah pure, stick to that which is correct as best we can, then Allah will take us to where we need to be. And the Muslims will then be the guiding light for the rest of the society, let alone the African Americans. Let alone the African Americans. We will be that guiding light for all of America, all of the world. But it's upon us. It's incumbent upon us to reconnect and to reassert some seriousness in this deen and how we are moving and shaking here in the world, especially here in America, where I happen to be at the moment. So I just wanted to remind the Muslims that we have the haqq, we have the truth with us. It is upon us to implement it in our lives. Implementation of that which Allah has given us will blow man-made obstacles away. But we have to show other people who are oppressed the proper way. If we don't show them, it'll always be making man-made ideologies or man-made ways to fight man-made ways. If you understand what I mean, we'll be looking for man-made tactics to fight man-made tactics when we don't need to fight those battles. We just need to have faith in Allah, tie our camel, if for those who are familiar with this terminology, put your nose to the grindstone, educate yourself, and stick to the Quran and the Sunnah as best as you can. And I think everything will work out fine. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakum Allahu khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.